Hello friends, this is Leia from Star Power Tarot, here with another reading. Today's video is January 2022. What are the predictions? What's the advice? What are the messages from Spirit? What does Goddess God, the Universe Divine, want you to know, and how can you navigate all of that? So, if you hear music playing in the background, it's because I'm literally recording this on New Year's Eve, and all my neighbors are having parties except for me, because I'm here alone in LA and my family's back in the Bay. Not that I'm complaining. Like, I like spending holidays alone sometimes. It's kind of fun, kind of lonely, but also it's whatever. So don't worry about me. I'm fine. But these are the piles, so pick a Palo Santo that resonates for you. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Just take a deep breath, inhale, and pick whichever summons your intuition the most. And the timestamps are below. I'll see you at your reading, but before you click on the timestamp, just know I just launched actually my Etsy, and the cheapest reading I'm doing right now is $5 for a 5-minute reading. And if you want to book with me, you can book with me. The link is below. And just thank you for all your support, and I'll see you at your reading. Okay, pile number 1. So if you chose this Palo Santo, this is your reading. So what's happening for you January 2022, this upcoming month? What are the predictions? What is the advice from Spirit? A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Okay, so I think a lot of you, if you're not starting a relationship or finding someone who you could be interested in, this is going to be a new phase in a very significant relationship for you. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. I mean, the answers you need are about to come because I'm about to tell you them. Let's see, the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, wow. This is actually really beautiful, I think. The 4 of Wands, reverse. Okay, that's really interesting. And finally, we have freedom. Free yourself from limiting beliefs and attitudes. Be an advocate of freedom so that others can be free to pursue their dreams. Unshackle the chains that bind you from being the person you want to be. Okay, pile number 1. 2 potential messages here for you. So, as I said before, some of you are starting a new romantic cycle, either with someone new or with someone you already know, who you're already involved with, and it's like a turn of freshness is kind of what I hear, kind of what I feel. So that's the first message for, I think, half of you. The other half of you, it's interesting because we have the 10 of Pentacles right in the middle, and then like these 2 cards representing one path and these 2 cards representing another path. The second path is, if you're not in a romantic cycle that you want to be in, a lot of you are unshackling yourselves from it for the sake of your own freedom, the sake of your own freedom or the sake of your own health. And either way, it's really positive for the both of you. So, it's interesting because for some of you, this is so much like about romance, I think. And I think for a lot of you, or take it whatever relationship resonates with you, for some of you, something might not work out the way that you think it will happen. And that's totally okay, because the universe or Spirit is saying that with this 10 of Pentacles, you will actually prosper even more without the thing that you thought you needed. So that's a very specific message, without the thing that you thought you needed. This is a month that is really about abundance and personal power. And it's also, for some of you, the month where you're really going to cement and really direct your financial goals, and your financial decision-making is kind of going to become hammered in during this month. It's going to become the compass of your new year. And I see that in the 10 of Pentacles right here. Let's clarify from Spirit. What does Spirit mean to say with the answers you need are coming? So let me pull from the Rider-Waite-Smith, and let's clarify. So Goddess God, Universe Divine. What answers are coming for pile number 1? I'm hearing Marina and the Diamonds. So I don't know if some of you are into Marina, but there's specifically a song, like, it's called I Am Not a Robot, and for some reason it's popping up in my head. Ooh, right as we say that, this motorcycle is like roaring in the background. But let's go see. So Spirit, for pile number 1, what is the answer that is coming for us? Let's see. Okay, here we are. Okay. Justice. Strength. The Queen of Wands. Okay. And the Four of Cups reverse. So like kind of like what I was saying before, pile number 1, you're unlocking a lot of love. You're unlocking, if you were closed off before to romance in the past, you're opening up in ways that maybe you never considered. But what's really happening here is it's almost like the universe is energetically correcting things that went wrong for you. And I see that in the Justice combined with the Strength, combined with the Queen of Wands. A lot of it is initiating from within you. A lot of it is you are taking yourself in a new direction that you never thought you would take before. But it's also, this is the month, January, where things are going to start turning into your favor. Things are going to start turning the tide toward favoring you. And I hear generosity. So I think the universe is demonstrating in January just the amount of generosity that it has for you. So this is a really positive energy, I really think. And then we have the only uncovered card now is freedom. So whether it's financial freedom, romantic freedom, freedom in terms of your health, your confidence, for pile number 1, again, I'm being so vague, but you're stepping into a space where everything just feels clear and everything just feels like it's meant to be the way it is. And here's a message for you. You might not have everything that you want. Pile number 1. But in January, the thing that's going to come through your mind is the feeling of, that's okay. I don't need to have everything that I want right now because I'm doing pretty well, or I'm on the road to doing really well. Let's go see. So Goddess, God, Universe, Divine. For pile number 1, are there any specific situations that might happen? Let's see, what are these 2 cards that fell out? Contemplation and falling. So a lot of you are falling in love. Falling. I don't say that kind of sardonically or like in a way that's, because it depends, right? Like these are general readings. A lot of messages resonate for different people, but you need to choose what is summoning your intuition, like what is really sparking for you. And if you want more specific messages, you can book a reading with me. Cheapest reading I'm doing this month is $5. The link is below. But with the Four of Cups reverse and contemplation, what I'm really feeling, pile number 1, is some of you are rethinking a relationship in the past that didn't work out. Some of you are gaining a new insight from it. So I hear the name David. I don't know if that resonates for you, or David, but a lot of you are like rethinking or rejournaling something that happened between you and somebody a long time ago, or not that recent, not that far ago, I meant. And it's almost like, so I remember how I said like there was one path, which is you're falling in love, and the second path, which is the second half of the people who chose this pile, are people who are like releasing themselves from a relationship. It could even be like a work relationship you're releasing yourself from. But a lot of you are rethinking something that didn't work out in the past, and you're coming to terms with thinking that it's okay that it didn't work out because it led you to a very specific place, a very specific point in time. And the second message for that route is that is ironically clearing the way for you to fall in love with something or someone again. So pile number 1, from a love standpoint, January 2022 is really reinvigorating. It's really fresh. It's kind of this point in your life that you never really thought you would ever really come to again. Like it's, a lot of you are going to feel very young, very fresh. You're going to feel kind of giddy, kind of like naive about someone or something. Could be a place, a person, a job. For most of you, this is romantic, I will say. But is there advice from Spirit? Spirit, do you have a channeled message from for me to tell pile number 1? So a dog was barking in the background, and was something that summoned in my mind was, I think for a lot of you, animals, pets might be important, or the person you fall in love with might have a dog, or might say, hey, I always thought about getting a dog. Also the phrase, I never grew up with a dog, I never had a dog. So I don't know, it's just these little flashes in my head that I get for you, pile number 1. But let's see from what's healing for you? I want to think about that. What is healing? What is this? Ooh. How teachable are you? Exactly. So pile number 1, the past is really going to resurface for you in January 2022. How teachable are you? The situation you're recontemplating or rethinking about, it's going to bring in some new energetic influence into your life, which is actually really fascinating, because it's almost as if you thought that you learned everything from a particular situation, but the universe is coming in maybe with a new detail or with like a new piece of information you never knew about the situation. And the universe is saying, no, like there's this thing you never considered that we're going to tell you right now. And it's going to completely change your, I heard fixation, your framework, your findings about what a previous situation was for you, romantically or career-wise. That's another message for some of you. So Goddess, God, Universe, Divine, what are some final messages that we have for pile number 1? So what is January 2022 going to bring? What are the predictions for pile number 1? The 3 of Wands reverse. Okay, so how interesting. Let's clarify that. What's on the back of the deck? The Sun. Okay. So I think Spirit is trying to add a contour to this reading, because the message that I'm getting is it's not going to be completely easy. So there's a lot of good things to think about and a lot of positivity to embrace going into January 2022 for you, but it's not going to be the easiest. And so if some of you want to move, it's going to take a little bit of time. If you want to move careers, it's going to take a little bit of time. If you want to leave a relationship for another one, some of you are going through that, it's going to take a little bit of time. But you will get there, just not in January, with the Sun card clarifying the 3 of Wands reverse. And I feel a kind of stuckness energetically from that first card. Are there any final messages, Spirit, that we have? So self-care and washing your face are some rituals I think Spirit wants you to consider going into January 2022. Self-care, washing your face, really looking in the mirror, really looking at your skin. For a lot of you, there's something about like skin and taking care of your skin, or your skin is just going to have this radiant glow up. I feel for you going into January 2022. So that's everything. If you want, I always do these readings and I'm always like, oh my God, I'm so vague. Like, oh, by the way, just saw 1212 on the camera timer. So that's a master builder number for those of you interested in numerology. 1212, look it up. But if you want more specific messages, book with me. The link is below. Cheapest reading I'm doing this month is $5. And my Etsy is now open, and that's everything. So please make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what resonated, and I'll be more than happy to respond to you. All right, thank you, pile number 1, and Happy New Year. Pile number 2, so if you chose this Palo Santo, this is your reading. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe, hit the alert bell, give this video a like. That helps me so much, and I'm so grateful for you. Let's look at these cards. Your hard work is paying off. New Moon in Capricorn. Judgments in reverse from the Little Prince Tarot. The Magician. Queen of Wands, Mother Fire. And finally, we have Awakening. Your consciousness is awakening. You are becoming attuned to the messages of the spirit and nature. Trust your psychic abilities. Okay, so there's a specific message for you, pile number 2. And that is January 2022 is gonna be what you make it out to be, so long as you follow your intuition. So a lot of you are coming into some sort of spiritual awakening, and this awakening is about direction. And by that, what I mean is it's about trusting that if you follow your intuition, you have power over the direction of your life. If you have ever felt powerless in the past, or if 2021 was so much about feeling like things aren't going your way, things are really hard, the pandemic, really causing trauma or causing blockages, what's happening in January 2022 is you are beginning to rediscover your power. It's this feeling of you are at the very start of a very specific journey throughout next year, and all the seeds are being planted in January 2022. So what are those seeds? Let's get some clarifying cards from the Rider-Waite-Smith. Your hard work is paying off. Judgment reversed. The Magician. Queen of Wands. There is a lot of firepower that you have as a person, pile number 2. And if you don't think you have a lot of firepower, you need to really reconsider, because Spirit is telling you with the Queen of Wands and the Magician that what you want to make, you can have. You just have to have a game plan with that new moon in Capricorn energy. Capricorn is such a... Well, Capricorn's a really interesting sign because it's represented by like the goat mermaid or the ram mermaid, which is interesting because if you think about like the bottom half being the base of the creature, Capricorn is really rooted in water. So for Capricorn to really succeed, Capricorn has to emotionally express and emotionally balance, which comes really hard for Capricorns because they tend to really exist from the perspective of like the goat. They don't really think about the mermaid, like the more watery aspect of living, of existing. And so that's a message for some of you, is like as you go about your goals in January 2022 and the rest of 2022, you need to balance out your emotional life first. Otherwise, your manifestation is going to be blocked. You're not going to be able to manifest as quickly or at all if you're struggling to really center yourself, to really ground yourself. So grounding yourself, pile number 2, is an important technique you need to think about. Let's think about this. For some of you, there is a romantic partner who makes you smile. That's just a message that I'm getting from Spirit. And appreciate the tenderness. That's a message for you. That's just a really random message, a random download that I got. Appreciate the tenderness because that's what will make it lead into more. If you're fretting too much, does this person like me? Are they going to leave me? Are they going to ghost me? Stop responding to me? You're going to block that energy as well. And even if not with that person, with other people who could be potential matches for you. But let's go ask Spirit. So Spirit, what are some clarifying situations? What did I just say? The 2 of Cups, right? So some of you, it's so interesting because we're getting so much good news. Like I just feel intuitively that Spirit is like, oh, you wanted a January 2022 month at a glance reading? Like we're just going to give you the good stuff, like to make you look forward to, sorry, I'm picking up these cards, make you look forward to the month. And what did I say about balance? Temperance, reverse. 2 of Swords. It's so interesting because you have the 2 of Swords is like diametrically opposing the Temperance, and then we have the 2 of Cups, the Page of Pentacles. So for a lot of you, pile number 1 had such a romantic outlook that I feel if you resonated with pile number 1, you should watch it as well because there should be some messages in there for you. Keep in mind, these are general readings. So if you want more specific messages, book with me. The link is below, and I'm doing $5 readings. So really cheap. But there's a message for you romantically, which is you got to make the offer, pile number 2. If there's someone on your mind, if there's someone you're interested in, you need to ask them like, hey, let's watch Mean Girls next Sunday or like whatever. And I'm saying that because I'm literally doing that with somebody next week. I'm like watching Mean Girls with this cute guy. Hopefully, we'll see. TMI, anyways. But with the 2 of Cups, Temperance, this a relationship might be a little bit out of balance, and what I'm really feeling is it's because you need to step into the power of offering. Don't give away too much of yourself, and don't give with expectations, because that's a little codependent, right? But take yourself out of a stalemate. So in any situation, pile number 2, the advice for you is in January 2022, if you hit a stalemate, take yourself out of it by just making an offer. So if it's a job and like you just have to say, hey, give me this salary. If it's a person and you want to ask them out on a date, if you're looking to move, send some emails out to prospective, rooms, houses, apartments for you to move into. Well, what I'm feeling, pile number 2, is January is going to be the month where you set the tone for 2022. So everything that you paint, like with the magician here painting, everything that you paint in January 2022 is gonna amplify throughout the rest of the year very strongly for your pile, I will add. So think about 2022. Think about like the 5 things you want to happen in 2022 and do the baby step version of all those 5 things in January. So take what you want for next year, compress it really small, and do those small things throughout January, because what you plant in January 2022, pile number 2, it's gonna rebound, and it's gonna come back to you bigger by the end of the year. And then there's that other message about like romance, about someone, Dylan. I don't know why, like I hear that name, but if there's like a Dylan, a Roberto, and then Monica, I don't know why. Like I just hear these like names, not in a schizophrenic sense, but like like I feel like the name in my mind, and so I have to say it out loud. There's all this stuff about spirituality and psychosis that I think is really interesting. Anyways, psychosis stigma, spirituality stigma, how the two kind of intersect. Anyways, you didn't come for that topic. You came to hear about what was happening for you next month. So let's get back on topic, Leia. And you guys are so sweet. Like, thank you for your subscription. We're a small little community right now, but I have the feeling that we're going to grow a lot throughout the next year. But let's go get some messages. So messages from the divine. Goddess, God, universe, divine, spirit. What are some messages? Oh, wow. 6 of Pentacles. Success, generosity. Success and generosity. The 6 of Wands, victory. So I don't even feel like this is just about January. This is really about the year. Pile number 2, a lot of magic is going to happen this year. A lot of things that you thought would take years to manifest, you have the power to make happen much more quickly in 2022. It's really beautiful. And then the 4 of Cups, which in this deck is called luxury. So now is the time, pile number 2, to really think about your coin, really think about your bag, and really think about like what you're gonna do to like self-start that business, to get more clients. If you're a reader, think about what you can do to advertise more, what workshops you can offer, for example. But for pile number 2, we're kind of ending on this message, which is that a lot of good things are going to happen in 2022, and that's why you need to set the intention for January to really make sure those things come true. A lot of dreams are going to come true for you in January 2022. I can just kind of feel it. It's such a strong energy with all these piles so far. But what do you need to do? You need to be proactive with that Capricorn. Your hard work is being recognized card. The advice for you in 2022 is if you feel stuck, you need to just act and do something, because it'll manifest something good. You just have to trust your instinct, pile number 2, and do the thing you're scared of doing in a healthy way, right? Do the thing that will unstuck you and that will bring you closer to success. Have no second doubts or second thoughts, pile number 2, because you're really destined for greatness this upcoming year. I can really feel it. Or at least you're destined to just feel really proud of yourself by the end of January and by the end of 2022. So that's everything that I have for you. Please subscribe, like, hit the alert bell, and leave a comment below about what resonated or what you liked hearing, and I'll respond to you. I'm doing $5 readings this month, and you can check out my readings on my Etsy store. The link is below. And I talked so much, so fast, but that's everything. So happy New Year, and bless, and take care. Thank you, pile number 2. Hi, pile number 3. So this is not yours. This is yours. So if you chose this Palo Santo, this is your reading. I'm getting a very specific direction from Spirit, which is to live shuffle for you, pile number 3. So you're special because you're the only pile I'm live shuffling for off the bat. Just a warning, like today's messages are really optimistic and really strong and really powerful. So something to look forward to. But make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell, make sure you give this video a like, thumbs up. That helps my business so much, and I'm so grateful for you. And make sure you always comment what resonates for you, because I love responding to your comments. And we're a small community right now, but we will grow so much in the upcoming year. I can feel it. So let's see what we have so far. You and your loved ones are safe. A new romantic cycle begins. Some of you have a parent or a relative who is sick. Or not to worry you, but like you might discover someone might be having health issues in January. That's a very specific message that I'm getting. And we're going to clarify all these cards in a bit, but let's just shuffle them. So Spirit, pile number 3. What are the messages for January 2022? Queen of Cups reverse. The Fool reverse. And the Four of Cups. I think pile number 2 definitely got the Four of Cups. So if you resonated with pile number 2, make sure you watch it as well. Let's keep shuffling. But the Fool reverse and the Queen of Cups reverse is actually really interesting. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. The Tarot of the Spirit, Goddess, God, Universe, Divine. Angel guides, Spirit guides, ancestors. What are the messages for pile number 3? Did I call you pile number 1? I don't remember. Let's see. Okay. Here we are. The Nadir 5. This is so funny because I got this for pile number 2, but I felt like, okay, this is going to confuse people, so I don't want it. So give me a different card, Spirit. And Spirit gave me different cards. But here we are again. So if pile... I almost feel like this is the back half of pile number 2. So if the video... This is a specific message for some of you. If the video is auto-playing and you hear this, just keep watching, because there's some messages in here for you. For those of you who left off of pile number 2. You and your loved ones are safe. New Moon in Cancer. A new romantic cycle begins. New Moon in Libra. Queen of Cups reverse. The Fool reverse. Four of Cups. The Nadir. Wow, what a complex month for you, pile number 3. This is so different from the first 2 piles. I think the first 2 were so much about success and romance and relationships. But this is really a lot about like external circumstances around you, pile number 3. And I think that's why Spirit wanted me to do a live shuffle, is because Spirit knew that we would get these messages. But, so off the bat, for pile number 3, we're going to take this literally. A new romantic cycle begins. Some of you are starting a new relationship. So if pile number 1 resonated for you, I would watch pile number 1. If not that, a new romantic cycle in terms of your relationship to yourself is starting. So the way you perceive yourself, the way you're grateful for yourself, the way you think about your success is going to change if it's not with another person. You and your loved ones are safe. And I think for you, pile number 3, there is more focus on family time for at least maybe the early parts of January. For some of you, you're returning home after the first week of January or sometime around that time frame, which makes sense because, you know, people are traveling for New Year's. But this kind of goes hand in hand with the message that like maybe someone is sick, or maybe someone is dealing with something unfortunate. Maybe someone has an illness. Your conceptions about family are kind of changing, pile number 3, because there's a growth in tenderness. That's what's happening for you in January 2022. Spirit, let's look at the Queen of Cups reverse, the Fool reverse, and the Four of Cups. So this is almost coming through as sort of a warning, which is there is a tendency in January 2022, pile number 3, to really become reclusive and go inward. And that can be essential in terms of your maturity and your growth. But at the same time, don't let being unmoored, don't let becoming imbalanced, don't let that prevent you from participating. Does that make sense? Don't let stress prevent you from hanging out with your friends, or seeking out people, or seeking comfort, or seeking out relationships. Pile number 3. Out of all the piles, you are getting the most like advice heavy reading. And then the 5 of Pentacles, the Nadir. So the Nadir, when you have the 5 of Pentacles, what we really think about is like abandonment, or sadness, or despair of some sort, a lack of hope. And so pile number 3, some of you might be struggling with like mental health issues, like depression, which, you know, I struggle with as well. Like it happens with everybody, right? But the message from Spirit is like, Spirit just wants to give you this like hug and say, hey, it's gonna be okay. You have your family, you have your friends. New romance might be coming in for you, for some of you, and it's going to be okay. That is the message. January 2022 is going to be a month of healing for so many of you, pile number 3. And let's go clarify what's going to happen for pile number 3. So if you resonated, and a lot of you watching this will have resonated with another pile, please watch that pile, either pile number 1 or pile number 2, if you resonated with another pile. Let's see what this is. The 6 of Wands. There's a narrative happening. There's a story. Queen of Cups. Clarifying the Queen of Cups reverse, right? And they're facing each other. So your success, the Page of Wands reverse. Your success in January, pile number 3, it's not going to be in the realm of passion. It's going to be in terms of emotional growth and maturity and taking care of yourself. That's where you're exactly, what did I say? The Magician. And finally, the Page of Cups. That's where your success really lies, pile number 3, in the month of January, is your success is going to be how you handle yourself and how you handle things, how you handle people. So if there's something you're dreading in January, like maybe for some of you, you have an ultrasound coming up. I have an ultrasound coming up, actually. Some of you have some sort of medical examination coming up. If you're dreading that, the message from Spirit is you're going to do just fine. If you're a performer, if you're performing at a show and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You're going to be just fine. No matter what it is, the advice from Spirit, because I think a lot of you, pile number 3, you're thinking about a situation already. And the message from Spirit is you are going to be just okay. Like, do not even worry about it, because we got your back. Ancestors really have your back, pile number 3. That's something that I feel really intuitively. But let's keep shuffling. So Spirit, and let's shuffle 3 times. What does pile number 3 need to know? For some of you, kids might be important. There's a very specific child coming through with like might have curly hair, might have like olivey skin, but children might be really important to you in the month of January. The Blood Dance. Okay, let's get 2 more. Don't give away too much of yourself. And as I said that, I felt a lot of sadness. So pile number 3, don't give away too much of yourself to anybody. including to your career. Like, don't sacrifice past the point where it's detrimental to you. Sensual awakening. And finally, rings of time. So a lot of karmic, and I try to be really careful when I say words like karmic, like, because I don't want to use it unless I think it's absolutely necessary. But I do think a lot of energetic cycles are closing, coming full circle, and are opening again for you, pile number 3, at the start of January. So this month is going to explode like confetti for you. But it's really gentle at the same time. Like, you're going through gentle transformation. And I see that in the colors here of these cards. Rings of Time, Sensual Awakening, the Blood Dance. If there's someone who activates you sexually, physically, spend some time with them, because I have a feeling that physical touch is going to be a way that you're going to ground yourself, pile number 3, throughout January 2022, and maybe throughout 2022 as a whole, is your connection, your intimacy with friends and people and like lovers, your partner. That is what is going to nurture you. So prioritize that. There's people here for you, pile number 3. I don't know why, but I feel like pulling from this trauma deck, we're gonna shuffle it first, and I think that'll be the last message for you. So make sure you comment what has been resonating so far. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. I'm doing $5 readings for all of January. So make sure you follow the link below to book with me for specific messages. And so let's go. Goddess, God, Universe, Divine Spirit. What is the message? Here we are. Pride. And so we have death. This card is kind of dusty. Oops. But we have pride. And life. That second half, we're calling her life. But what I feel is... Okay, Spirit, what are some channeled messages that you have? There's no need to look under your bed. That's one message. Like, there's no need to be on guard all the time. If you have a little sister or an older brother, spend some time with them. What is another message, Spirit? You're awakening. As we said, the Blood Dance, Rings of Time. January 2022 is going to be about you're softening up emotionally, you're feeling supported by the people around you, and you're awakening, maybe to your shadow side, maybe to like the darker half of yourself. But as you see more of your shadow side, pile number 3, ironically, you actually get to see more of your light, and you get to see more of like what makes you you, what makes you tick, what makes you a good person. You are a good person, pile number 3. I just have so many comforting things I want to say to you. Blue kyanite for a lot of you might be important. So I would invest in some blue kyanite. That'll open your throat space, your communication space, and your divine intuition. Is there a final message for pile number 3, Spirit? Is there a final message for pile number 3? Celebrate. You need to celebrate. If there's a New Year's get-together brunch that you want to go to it. Because celebrating, softening up emotionally, spending time with people who nurture you, spending physical time with people, that is going to root you during this time of change, pile number 3. So that's what's happening for you in January 2022. Make sure you like, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, give a thumbs up. And if you want to book a $5 reading with me or any reading below, the link to that is below in the description. So thank you so much, and bless and take care, and Happy New Year.